exactly, well, we've already got that seventh chord, that bluesy, that dominant seventh chord. So today we're going to be talking about inversions and slowly getting inversions, but with our seventh chord. But don't worry, we're going to build there slowly. So to start off today, we're going to start off a little different. Let's start off with some shells in your left hand, but play them with fingers 5 and 2 like this. 2, 3. And make sure that your fingers aren't like down below like that. Like me, I'm just showing you where your fingers are going to go. Fingers 5 and 2 on all the shells, because our thumb is free to do something in just a second. So just a little warm up. Get your fingers in position here, G and D to D and A. And now watch what my thumb's going to do. It's just going to play the note right beside it for all these shells. So watch me here. 1, 2, 4. I'm just switching from D to E. The very next note. So it's C and G, and then C and A. And back down. So this is something called the blues shuffle. So if you ever just need to give your right hand a little bit of a break, you can always come and just try this. And it's great for your pinky as well, especially on your left hand. If your left hand's your weak hand, it's switch it up just for a second. Back to boogie pattern. Let's try that again. A 1, 2, 4, 1. Because you can approach this from different ways. So now when you stay on C, you're gonna stay on C here, but then just that B flat, just that one note. That's it. And then go back to that boogie pattern. So now we're switching between boogie patterns, our 7th chords, and our reposition chords. So we've got a lot of things going on here. But let's try it again. Just practicing that shape, getting it down. One more time, boogie pattern. There's our C chord. Every time we play this one, that's the chord we're going to. And all we have to do is add a black note, B flat right there. And back to the boogie. D chord reposition. So if you're having trouble with that, stay there and keep practicing that. We're going to try one more inversion now. So here, just hold G7, G, B, D, F. Just like that, you got it. And try to transition. Remember, this goes down to B flat, and these two notes have to go down one. So that's what the transition feels like from a 7th chord. And they all go back up. Let's go back to our repositions. Right now, we're just practicing right hand. If you need a break, you can shake it out. You can go back to your shuffle pattern if you want. But let's keep going here one more time. G7. We're going to try one more inversion this time. We're going to try our D inversion. And so there is a secret to getting this. I'm going to show you right this first time. Just kind of watch me. I'll show you what I'm going to do. My thumb goes down to F sharp, and so does yours. So thumb to F sharp. Then we're going to go F sharp, A, D. Those are the notes. And this is that C7 again. Okay, so this is where it gets a little challenging, but stay with me. G7. And if this inversion you're finding it tricky, just go to your reposition chords. That's totally fine. Let's try to get to the C7, G, B, flat, C, and E. And back, everything moves up. So now thumb on F sharp, that's the first one. F sharp, A, and D. That's an inversion, and that's a tricky one to get to. And if you're having trouble getting that 7th note in there, don't worry about the B flat. Honestly, you can just try it as all of these inversions if you want. This one would sound like just G chord. And here's your C chord. This is also perfectly acceptable to G chord. An inversion of this D is F sharp, A, and D. So like this. That top note stays the same. Here's our C chord. And it's just 3 chords at the end of the day. It's just getting those shapes down. That's where we're practicing. Boogie pattern. And now we're going to add that B flat note right here. That's it. So if you find it easier to get to C7 like that, feel free to do the boogie pattern every time. I just keep practicing that way. And now thumb to F sharp. Let's practice F sharp, A, and D. G, C, D, and you can add that B flat if you got there in time. One more time, boogie pattern. And you can be doing that in chord notes if you want. Just adjust it to your skill level and add the B flat. And back to the G chord. That's it. Now F sharp, A, D for a D chord. Here's a regular C chord, or add the B flat if you want. Alright, one more time, go. 2, 4, boogie pattern. So we're just getting started with inversion. So if this is still tricky for you, do not worry. We're going to keep doing this lots and lots. We'll get a lot of practice doing this. And if you're having trouble getting this inversion, you can just do reposition up here. Or you can do that 7th chord if you didn't manage to get there. Inversion, one last time. Hit the boogie. You got the boogie pattern. I feel like I can make the song with just the boogie pattern. Here we go. There's the B flat. And down to G. I'm starting to sing or talking song now. D, F sharp, A, and D. G, C, and then B flat makes that 7. And here is the end of today's practice. So end on G7. Hold it down, go up here. Try the downward waterfall. So